There's one passive income stream that no one on YouTube is talking about. No, it's not real estate. No, it's not e-commerce. Find out what it is in just a minute. Stay tuned. What's up guys? Welcome back to the Kersten Show, where every episode we show you something different on business, entrepreneurship, investing, and personal growth. Today we're going to be talking about the one passive income stream that I don't hear anyone else talking about. What is it? Recruiting, staffing. That's right, being a headhunter. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can know as soon as we upload a new video. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So the recruiting industry has been around for a long time. Before there was the internet, there were still headhunters. They were going through cards, collecting resumes and reaching out to businesses and pitching to the business, hey, we've got someone that matches the skill set that you might be looking for. Would you be interested in hiring them? And then vice versa. Hey, going out to candidates saying, hey, we have a lot of job openings, etc., etc. Sometimes you'll find that recruiters say they have a job opening or they're trying to fill a position when they're not, and they're just collecting resumes. I don't really recommend doing that. I personally don't see the point, because by the time that you go back to that candidate, they've probably already found another job. But I mean, if it's what you want to do, then fine, go for it. But let's just talk about what it takes to get started. First, right out of the gate, you're gonna need about $300 to file an LLC, okay? And you're gonna want that LLC to protect you as an individual from losing your assets or anything like that in case something does go wrong, because an LLC is gonna separate you from the business. Setting up an LLC on your own is one of the easiest things to do. Like I said, it's only about $300. I will link down in the description below a place where you can go and file that LLC. The second thing that you're gonna need is obviously a website. I mean, you gotta look legit, right? So I would go to namecheap.com, get yourself a website for less than $10, and then go to a place like either oneandone.com or godaddy.com and build yourself a website, just kind of explaining what you do. And that's gonna be the three services: temp to perm, permanent placement, or you can do just contract recruiting. Now, I bet you didn't know this, but whenever a recruiter hires you and fills a position for a company, typically industry standard, that recruiter or the recruiting company is going to be getting paid 20% of the first year's income. You heard me right, 20% of the first year's income for that candidate. So if you fill a position where the salary is $100,000, you get $20,000. That's pretty big money. Now, if you fill a position more like 50, well, then you're at $10,000, and that ain't bad either. You do 10 of those in 1 year, that's, just $100,000 right there. One a month is $120. That's a pretty awesome income for just filling one position a month. Now, if you're doing a contract placement where it's just temporary, typically those rates are even a little higher. But it's not all at once, and you don't get paid on the salary. You're getting paid anywhere from, we'll say 30 to 45% per the hour that employee is working. So if you're hiring somebody for $10 an hour, you're gonna charge the client company, $14 an hour, then you pay them the $10 an hour and you pocket that $4 an hour. It is a great way to have money coming in by someone else working. Now, I bet you're wondering, Jeremy, I don't have the money to front that person per the hour. Well, that's where a back office company comes in. A back office company is gonna take care of the funding, which means they front the money and then they give you the profit after expenses. And then two, they're gonna also handle the insurance that it takes for that person while they're working, workers' comp insurance. And third, they're gonna actually pay the person. So you don't even have to worry about handing out checks. That's pretty awesome. The biggest difference between the permanent placement and the temp to perm or the temporary positions is that when you do a permanent placement, it's gonna be a one-time transaction. And then whereas the temporary or the temp to perm, you're gonna be paying that individual as they go along until the contract that you and the employer has negotiated expires. One of the biggest misconceptions about the recruiting industry is that the recruiter is actually taking money from the employee for their work, but that's not exactly the case. It's more like they're just charging a markup and taking that profit from the markup and pocketing it. So don't think that they're taking money from the employee. So how do you get business? You go out and you scour your local area and you call up companies or shoot them emails and say, hey, I think I've got some candidates that could fit this position for you. If they say yes, well, you can choose to go in physically and have a meeting with them, or you can just start sending them some resumes across the internet. There have been many examples of businesses where they did recruiting and they never once met the employer or even the candidates for that matter. That's right, you can just call up the candidates, qualify them, see if they're looking for a job, and if they are, set them up on the interview. And then if they get hired, you get paid. It's a very simple business model. You don't need to overcomplicate it. Like I said before, whenever you're doing the temporary or temp to perm, you're going to need to find yourself a back office company. In order to do that, just Google recruiting back office companies. I guarantee you'll find one in your local area that can help you get set up. A second thing that you're going to need in addition to the LLC is an EIN. Whenever the employer is going to pay you, they're going to ask you for that EIN. That's an employer identification number. You can get that by going to the IRS website and filing for an EIN. I'll put a link in the description below. You can choose to really do any kind of niche that you like. Typically the higher technical positions, sometimes you can even charge a little bit more than 20%. If you're interested in looking at an example of a website from a recruiting company, you can look at mine. Just go to www.topcandidatestaffing.com and take a look for yourself. TopCandidateStaffing.com is a company that I started in 2011, which I have to admit, getting started at first was a little rough because I was working a 9-to-5 job and didn't have the time to do the recruiting during the day or call on prospects or employers. But then there came a point whenever I was making enough money in another industry to ask my wife to stay at home. Well, what did I do? I just simply taught her the business model like I just taught you and told her to get on it. So she reached out to some of her past employers, offered their services, and what do you know? They accepted. So within a matter of weeks, we had money coming in just passively, people working on the clock while we took a little portion of the cut. And then also, we had some permanent placements that paid us pretty good. The great thing about getting started with a back office company is that there is no upfront cost with that either. They're just going to take a little bit of percentage of what the markup that we discussed. They're going to take some of that in order to do the funding and the insurance and the payroll until you can do that yourself. As your business grows, you can actually start cutting off some of those services from the back office company and start handling them yourself in order to increase your margins of your profit. It's a pretty straightforward business model that I think a lot of people just don't really understand and really understand how inexpensive it is to get started. If you have any questions about it, let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. We've got videos like this every week showing you new ways that you can start a business and make money. And until next time, guys, take care.